tell us about the song a little bit. Let's start off because everybody knows that song. It's the first one we've played. Can you talk about the song a little bit in general?
Yeah. I started writing that song the night that I got a text from somebody who had gone through a breakup with like a few months prior. And he was just asking me if I remembered a time we did something together. And it just kind of, I don't know, brought back memories. I didn't feel like I felt like I kind of had to get over him again, just kind of like from him coming back a little bit.
Yep.
And so I started writing the song that night, kind of instead of responding to him. And yeah, and I posted a video of me singing it that night too, and just decided to finish it like immediately and release it within 9 days from then.
Wow. It came that fast. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Are you going to play it for us by chance?
I would love to.
If you want to play anything is cool, but if you want to play that one, that's fantastic too, because I have lots more questions for you. So do you want to play it now and then we'll get back to some other stuff?
Sure.
All right. I'll let you go ahead. And this is a acoustic version of Remember That Night from Sara Kays.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm tuning a little bit.
No, this is perfect. We love this. It's real. It's raw and real.
The day after you said goodbye, all I did was lay in bed and cry. But after 1 month I started to move on, and after 2 I felt alright. Then 3 months in you were off my mind. In month 4 and 5 I was living my life. I was better and didn't have to try not to think of you until you reached out and said, remember that night we went for a drive. 2:30 in the morning, I kissed you, it was boring. We held each other tight. Before the night was over, you looked over your shoulder. Oh, I was doing fine. You said, remember that night, remember that night. Oh, I was doing fine. You said, remember that night, remember that night. The day after you had reached out, I was broken for the second time around. I prayed on the 3rd day that I would be okay, that I'd forget you wherever mine. Oh, I don't think you realize how long I had to fight to be living my life, to get better and never have to try not to think of you until you reached out and said, remember that night we went for a drive. 2:30 in the morning, I kissed you, it was boring. We held each other tight. Before the night was over, you looked over your shoulder. Oh, I was doing fine. You said, remember that night, remember that night. Oh, I was doing fine. You said, remember that night, remember that night. Oh, do you remember? We went for a drive. 2:30 in the morning, I kissed you, it was pouring. We held each other tight. Before the night was over, you looked over your shoulder. Oh, I was doing fine. You doing fine. He said, remember that night, remember that night.
Wow. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. Voice of an angel. That is really fantastic. And we have to remind people too, it's like morning, 10 in the morning. So
Yeah.
drag you out of bed.
Ago.
Here, sing, here, perform. That was just amazing. Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Oh, just goosebumps. So be great to have an acoustic version of that release too. That's a really cool take on the song.
I actually did put an acoustic version out recently. So
oh, you did?
Yeah. It's like more piano based, but yeah.
Oh, cool. Very cool. So we have to address the pandemic. You're just getting your career going. You got a single out.
Yeah.
And literally, I mean, I don't have enough adjectives to describe the last year and what it's done to the music industry and people's careers and, you know, mental health. How have you dealt with this? Have you been writing? How has it affected your writing? Let's just talk about the elephant in the room here, this whole pandemic thing.
Yeah. You know, for me, luckily it hasn't affected me too much, like my creative process. Because I already mostly write by myself, just in my room or whatever.
Yep.
And I work with my producer, Steven. He produces everything and he lives like 15 minutes away from me. So we've still just kind of been working together throughout this, and like he's my main collaborator. So it hasn't affected me too much, but
has the theme of the music been a little bit, does it tend to go to a darker place during these times, or are you able to kind of look past all this?
Maybe a little bit. You know, you have like a little more time to sit with your thoughts, and like I know a lot of my friends are going through it a lot more than, you know, normal times, so maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Have you guys been able to plan anything tour wise and doing some shows? Is there anything concrete we can look forward to here yet, or are you just kind of holding off still?
We have been talking about tour, like maybe toward the end of the year, you know, like hopefully that's doable. But
yeah,
who really knows, you know?
Yeah, you're right. It's really tough. I know in Arizona it's been, you know, people aren't been doing shows and different things, but not the huge. I mean, I don't think we're going to be seeing like a huge, you know, events going on yet. Maybe some smaller acoustic type of stuff where you can keep the social distancing going too. But you know, yeah. Sure. So whenever I was doing some research on you, everybody kind of had one of the same things. They said you were a great storyteller. Are your songs, I mean, is it basically a story, every one of them a story?
Yeah, I mean, most of them do come from my life and like specific moments from my life, or, you know, how I feel about things. But even sometimes like let's see, my song Rich Boy, I kind of just created a story like about a girl whose dad, you know, makes her kind of marry a rich boy essentially, and like made that into a song. So yeah, I do kind of love telling stories and lyrics.
Yeah. I read the lyrics to that. It's very relatable, and I didn't know if it was about you or not, but I think people could totally pick up on that too. And those are the best. Those are the most relatable when you're telling stories. I think people can really tie into that in their own lives, you know, to some degree too. Yeah. So you've been writing new stuff. What's the new stuff sounding like? Is it for an album, or in this day and age, everybody's doing kind of singles, but are you working on a whole project?
You know, it'll be a project eventually, but I'm kind of also just doing singles like as they come. I'm doing a single about every month. I love just kind of, I love that though. I love giving every song, you know, its little moment and kind of focusing on that song for a little bit and then going to the next one. But they're definitely going to end up on a project eventually.
Well, you know, back in the day, you know, before both of our time, I mean, singles were the thing, you know, 45s. I mean, they all did singles. And, you know, then the album, you know, in the 60s and 70s came around, and it can be a little more constricting when you're doing an album. You know, you got to have a lot of songs, and sometimes, do they fit? Do they, so you're in different moods. So it sounds like you're fine with just writing a song, putting it out, and just kind of reworking it that way.
Yeah, totally. And like I think that usually people will make the singles the songs that they're most confident in. So if you're like confident in every song to make a single, then that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, and let's face it, a lot of times there gets to be a little filler or a cover tune, and it sounds a little forced sometimes. So I
Yeah.
think if you're just putting all your effort into one song and making it great is fantastic. Now, I heard you play guitar. What else do you play?
Guitar and ukulele are pretty much my main things. I'll
Okay.
sometimes go to piano to write, but I don't really play it very well.
Okay, gotcha. So you write most everything on guitar. That's cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. What's your background? Musical family? Did you just pick it up on your own, or?
Yeah, no one in my family really does music. I mean, I would sing a lot when I was younger, and I
Mhm.
think around when I was 12-ish, I had been doing gymnastics a lot as a kid, and I quit that, and my mom just kind of was like wanting me to get into something else, so she got me a guitar, and I ended up really
Cool.
liking it. So yeah.
Very cool. So who are you influenced by as far as songwriters and artists?
Oh my goodness, so many people right now, like Alec Benjamin, Casey Musgraves,
Yep.
a lot in that space. But from, you know, the earlier days, Ed Sheeran, because I heard him on the radio and he's like, what I was listening to was mostly just on the radio. And when I heard him, it kind of was different from everything else I was hearing.
Yeah,
And
it
it kind of,
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
it made me
Yeah.
kind of like fall in love with that sound. So initially him and this artist, Jake Bugg, I loved in high school. And yeah.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All very good influences to have, definitely. I mean, Ed is just he really changed a lot of the whole sound, the entire. I mean, he's just one of those groundbreaking artists, and he's a storyteller too. I can totally hear where you're coming from because all of his are very relatable and personal, and that's what I think really sells it, so cool. So do you have any other songs you'd like to try out on us, or you just want to play that one?
Oh, I can play a new song. It's called Picture of
Okay.
You. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
this one's coming out in a couple weeks actually.
is it? Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Anytime you were, what's the name of this one?
It's called Picture of You.
Oh, cool. Cool. All right. Anytime you're ready.
Okay. High school graduation, last family vacation, trip to Michigan last year. My yearbook from 7th grade, I tore out every page with me and threw it all away. I know there were more good times than bad, but it's easy to forget when I start looking back. So I know you wanna keep this memory. Can you keep it in the back of your head? 'Cause when I see it in a week, I wish I was dead. I wish I took the picture of you instead. Future holidays, the beach, next summer break. I don't need proof that I was there. My big brother's wedding, hope I am not regretting the dress that I decide to wear. So I know you wanna keep this memory. Can you keep it in the back of your head? 'Cause when I see it in a week, I wish I was dead. I wish I took the picture of you instead. Ooh, ooh, I wish I took the picture of you instead. instead. Ooh, ooh. I know there were more good times than bad, but they keep on getting ruined by these photographs. So I know you wanna keep this memory. Can you keep it in the back of your head? 'Cause when I see it in a week, I wish I was dead. I wish I took the picture of you instead. Ooh, ooh, I wish I took the picture of you instead. Ooh, ooh.
Awesome. That's great. You know what the sign of a great songwriter is? Obviously, you and I have, there's a little age difference. I won't go how much, but when somebody my age can totally, I mean, I'm just listening to the lyrics, I'm just drawn right into the story. And it's just, brings me back to high school and brings me back to another place. It's maybe like someone your age loving Bob Dylan. I mean, you're from decades apart, but the songs are timeless, and that's what I think you've got. It's really a great sound, and we can't wait to play that one too very soon. So that one's coming out in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That's great. Very cool. Very cool. Well, it's been a pleasure. Like I said, we just love your work. The song sounds great. Remember That Night. And
thank you so much. Thank you for playing it.
This one's going to sound great too. And we all think very highly of you and are looking for great things. No pressure. But I think you've got, sounds like you got a great support cast and a great background and a great team there. And, sounds like you've come through the pandemic ready to go. And I think some big things are in store for you.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Sara Kays, everybody.